Hi. So here we are. This is part two. Um, Sorry for the more somber tone. I'm trying to put myself in a place that is more direct. I'm speaking to you. Okay, you're sitting here. You're wondering what I'm going to tell you because you've heard it all. And you've probably spoken to a therapist or a family member, and you've probably had someone in your life tell you, well, don't think like that. Let me stop right here and say that this video is for anyone who is struggling with suicidal thoughts. If you've made a plan, or if you have even attempted in the past. This is a heavy subject. I feel like I can't just sit down and talk to you and make everything better, because that's not possible. Listen, it takes a lot of work. Things in your life might be really shitty right now, and it may seem like there's no end to this, but there is. You have to do the work, though. The thing is, our brains are wired differently. There are some people who have never thought in their life about taking their own life. Their brains are different than yours. My brain is different than yours. We all are wired differently. But the one thing that we have in common in this video is that our brains are evil dicks, really. Your brain is out to ruin your life. That's how I choose to look at it. For me, I woke up every day with my brain thinking, well, I didn't die in my sleep. Great. I would walk down the street and pray that if I stepped off the curb, a car would hit me. I would think about drinking whatever crap is under the bathroom sink. I would think about slitting my wrists constantly. My brain telling me, no one would miss you. No one would realize you were gone. No one would even come to your funeral. Everyone's lives would be better without you. Those are words that I heard in my brain. I remember shortly before I decided to try and attempt it myself, I told someone that I have these thoughts. And I spent the day with them, and I would tell them every time my brain came up with another evil thought. And I got them to the point where they started to tear up. They couldn't believe that my brain would tell me such horrible things. But that is just it. It's your brain. In reality, none of the things your brain is telling you are true. And I know it's really hard to accept that. When I had people telling me, no, we love you, we care about you, we would be sad if you died, my brain just said, no, they're just saying that. They're just being nice. But now I have to stop and think, what would they have gained from lying to me? You know, it's not like I'm paying my friends to like me. They genuinely like me. It was my brain telling me that people wouldn't care. You have to get help. You can't do this on your own. I promise you. I tried everything. I was taking niacin because I had heard somewhere, seen some documentary where a woman in South America took a whole lot of niacin and it cured her depression. So I would take niacin every day. I would try my hardest to distract myself when I started feeling depressed. I'd try to surround myself in things that I enjoyed, but I found no joy in any of them. When I was old enough to buy alcohol, I would drink, which we all know alcohol is a downer. So at first you feel great, but then once the alcohol kicks in, you're down deeper than you ever are. And I had a few moments when I got drunk and I contacted people and I told them that I wanted to kill myself, that I wanted to die. I freaked people out. I had people scared because they thought that I had taken my life because I got drunk and told them I was going to. And that's no way to live. And you want to live. You really do. I know somewhere deep down inside of you, you're still here because there's a part of you that wants to live, wants to get through this and get past this. You have to want to get help. That's something that I try to explain to anyone who doesn't understand why they can't get through to their loved one who struggles with mental illness. You can't force someone to get help. You have to want it. And if you want it, you have to go out and get it. And that's hard. I know from talking to other people that finding the right therapist can be hard, that finding the right medication can be hard. And it's scary. You know, a lot of people tell you that they feel different, that they feel worse, or they struggle even harder with thoughts of suicide. I know on the the side effects of my medication, it said that it could cause you to have even more suicidal thoughts, which is scary to think about. But it takes time and it takes effort. And that's something I also learned in my therapy. I learned cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. And in CBT, it teaches you to do thought stopping. When your brain starts to say, no one would care if you're gone, you stop your brain. You say, no, someone would care. And you can think about anyone, whether it's your parents or your best friend or your sibling or your spouse or your significant other, or even, someone that you see on a daily basis that doesn't know you. Guess what? When you don't show up there the next day, they're going to notice and they're going to start to miss you. There is at least one person who sincerely gives a shit about you. And if anything, you have to really tell your brain that you have at least that one person. And this may sound trite as hell, but I care as well. And as I said in part 1, I'll have my social media. I know I'm not going to be able to stop you if you are struggling, but I can at least be someone you can reach out to. So please do, if you're feeling really low, please do reach out to me. Let's talk about medication, because medication is scary. The thing is, our brains are all different. As I said before, the brain chemistry is different. For me, my brain didn't produce enough serotonin, so I always felt really sad. Your brain could be missing something else or not produce enough of something. So what a psychiatrist needs to do is really trial and error. And the issue with medication is it usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks for your medication to really kick in. And until then, you're going to end up with side effects. For me, I had nausea and headaches. They weren't too bad. Like, my symptoms were really mild, but I had those side effects and I was terrified. Which, if you get your medication, kind of lightly skim the side effects so you know what to look for, but don't dwell on them, because I was terrified the first day I took them. I didn't want to take the pill because I was afraid of how it was going to make me feel. But after those 4 to 6 weeks, it's really going to start kicking in. And if you found the right medication, suddenly a light switch is going to go on. For me, I just woke up one day and didn't feel sad. I felt like all the things I'd learned in therapy were really starting to sink in. If you get a medication that makes you feel worse, tell your doctor. Don't keep it to yourself, because what they're going to do is help you get off what they've put you on and get on to something else that might help you better. You can't just go with the first medication and say, well, this didn't work, it's never going to work. Because it will. Eventually, you will find medication. You'll find a combination that's going to make you feel better. So, give that time. Therapy. Now, I know that there are therapists that suck. I had to see a therapist when I was in college, and she was horrible. But eventually you're going to find someone who syncs with you. I was lucky. I found a woman. She was really empathetic. She was more into a holistic kind of method, so she was very much into meditation and yoga. And I'll tell you, meditation does work. Especially if you're just stressed out and there's things going on everywhere, to be able to just stop all of that and be in the moment, focused on your breath, really can help. And there's other things that you can do. Essential oils, ASMR, which sounds like bullshit. Like you think, oh, crinkling paper and tapping on things, chewing and whispering, you find what works for you and focus on the sounds. Just don't let your brain wander off. Just really focus. That, I think, is what makes ASMR so cool. Really, what I want to stress here is that it can get better. You have to put in the work, though. You're not just going to wake up one morning and feel better. You're not. I'm sorry. Depression, anxiety, any of that does not go away on its own. You may think that you're doing fine, but something is going to trigger you, and it could be a disaster. I don't want you to get to that point. I want you to understand that there are people who care about you. And despite what your brain tells you, people will miss you when you're gone. So you tell your brain to shut the hell up and go get help. If you don't know where to turn, go to the ER. Tell them you're dealing with suicidal thoughts. They might take you in. They might give you an evaluation. Even if they force you to go through inpatient therapy, that's a start. Yes, it's scary, but it's going to put you on the path to feeling better. And you can feel better. You can. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. You really can feel better. I went from having constant suicidal thoughts, of constantly hearing my brain say, you're worthless, you're stupid, no one likes you, no one would miss you when you're gone, to now, it's silence. Every now and again, my low self-esteem will kick in and I'll think, well, this isn't going to work out. But I can stop myself and tell myself, just wait. It's coming. The good is going to come. So know that you're not hopeless and you can get help. And if you don't know where to start, start at the ER. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for anyone who wants to come and listen to me. So take care of yourselves. I do have another video about kind of the bad thoughts that come in your head and where they come from and how to stop them if you want a little more information. And I do plan on making more videos in the future regarding mental health. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.